Good evening. Here's the news at 9. First, the highlights. National Hajj Commission urges Lagos State pilgrims to be good ambassadors in Saudi Arabia. President Tinubu establishes Committee on Climate Action, Green Economic Solutions. On the foreign scene, United States National Security Advisor holds talks in Israel for Gaza's ceasefire. And in sports, Manchester City wins record fourth consecutive Premier League title. Now the details. I am John Omoaka. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has appealed to the 2024 intending pilgrims from Lagos State to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to make the country proud by abiding by the rules and regulations of a foreign country. Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NACON, Jalal Arabi, made an appeal when bid the first batch of the 2024 intending pilgrims from the state farewell to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Arabi, who was accompanied by the Lagos Airport by the National Commissioner, Operations, Inspectorate and Licenses, and not few Elegushi and other officials describe Hajj as a real opportunity. He also advised them not to fight or quarrel with the officials, saying when there are issues, such must be settled amicably without rancor, while they should pray for the country and its leaders. On his part, Commissioner for Home Affairs, Ibrahim Layode, expresses appreciation on behalf of the intending pilgrims, pledging that they would not disappoint the country but exhibit exemplary conduct and behaviors whilst in the Holy Land. The Lagos State Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development has disclaimed a rumor that the ministry is carrying out a recruitment exercise. The disclaimer was made by the Permanent Secretary, Office of Fiscal Planning, Oluwole Shotire, made a statement through a statement made available in Alausa the weekend. Shotire urged members of the public to disregard the false and misleading recruitment information and not fall prey to the antics of mischief makers. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, says it will inaugurate 92 infrastructure projects valued at over 84 billion naira across 5 states in the region in the next 2 weeks. Director, Corporate Affairs, NDDC, Pius Ukaputeni, said the projects include a 25.7-kilometer Ogba Nembe Road, which creates a road link to the ancient city of Nembe, Bayelsa State. Others are the 132 kV transmission line and a substation electrification project executed to optimize power supply to local government areas in the southern parts of Ondo State, a police station, health centers, and school blocks. The Oba of Bini Oku Apolopolo Ewari II has taken custody of 2 looted royal stools from the German government in a symbolic milestone. They were handed over to the National Commission for Museums and Monuments, NCMM, on behalf of the Nigerian government by the German authorities in 2022. Director General of the National Commission for Museums and Monuments, Olugbile Olowe, made the presentation on behalf of the federal government in Oba of Benin's Palace, Benin City. Addressing the Benin throne during the presentation of the artifacts, Holloway pledged on behalf of NCMM to work closely with the Benin Royal Court in uplifting and displaying Edo culture and heritage, even as the Benin bronzes and other artworks are gradually making their way home. Earlier, the Oba of Benin, while expressing joy, appreciated the German government, the federal government of Nigeria, and the NCMM leadership for their efforts. According to historical records, the artifacts, bronze and wooden royal stools, also known as ekete, made during the reign of Oba Eronsoye and Oba Esige several centuries ago, were looted from the Oba's palace during the punitive expedition in 1897. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has established a presidential committee on climate action and green economic solutions to coordinate and oversee all policies and programs on climate action and green economic development. He also appointed a special advisor on media and publicity, Anjuri Nginali, as the special presidential envoy on climate action. The committee is to be chaired by the president himself. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, will serve as the vice chairman, while Nginale will serve as the secretary of the committee and also double as a special presidential envoy on climate action. A statement by the Director, Information and Public Relations in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Shegun Imoyosen, says the committee will remove the constraints to coordination, foster a whole-of-government approach to the climate action program, and provide an efficient governance architecture. It will also ensure that all relevant of institutions in the sector are plugged into the present vision and are collectively implementing the renewed hope agenda on climate action. The statement notes that Ngenale will retain his office as spokesman to the president. The federal government is set to launch national policies and guidelines on organ transplants owing to several cases involving unethical practices in organ donation and transplantation. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, made this known during the Living Kidney Donor Day event organized by NISA Medical Group in Abuja. Pate, who was represented by the head of the Trauma and Emergency Disaster Response Division, Department of Hospital Services, Camille Shoretire, noted that 143.6 million persons around the globe are suffering from chronic kidney diseases as of 2017. He stated that new national guidelines on organ transplant will soon be introduced, while expressing concerns about the increasing cases of kidney problems and unethical practices in organ transplants in the country. Vice President, Transplant Association of Nigeria, Aliyu Abdu, called for improvements in infrastructure, government policy, and financing, among others, to better the initiative. Now to foreign news. National Security Advisor to the United States President, Jake Sullivan, is holding talks in Israel as part of a new push to ensure a ceasefire deal in Gaza. Sullivan met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday afternoon. His visit comes as Israeli forces continue military operations in Gaza, including in the southernmost city of Rafah. Hundreds of thousands of people have evacuated the city following an order from Israeli forces. Sullivan is expected to push Israel to avoid a full-scale assault on the city of Rafah, even as the U.S. had previously said it would stop supplying some weapons if Israel launches a major ground offensive on the city. Now sports. Manchester City has made English Premier League history by becoming the first side to clinch 4 consecutive titles after beating West Ham at the Etihad Stadium. Pep Guardiola has masterminded 6 Premier League wins in the past 7 seasons, and in 4 of those years, City has also surpassed 90 points. The players were pushed this season to deny Arsenal a first title since 2003-2004. The Gunners celebrated a 0-0 draw at the Etihad last month that kept them 1 point in front of City with 9 games to play. And that's our news, but just before we go, spill thrills but kills. Please do not drive beyond specified speed limits. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms. X, Traffic Radio 961. Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website at trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration supplied 86,000 dual furniture sets to 775 public schools? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has appealed to the 2024 intending pilgrims from Lagos State to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to make the country proud by abiding by the rules and regulations of the foreign country. President Bola Tinubu has established a presidential committee on climate action and green economic solutions to coordinate and oversee all policies and programs on climate action and green economic development. We also tell you that National Security Advisor to United States President Jake Sullivan is holding talks in Israel as part of a new push to secure a ceasefire deal in Gaza. And in sports, Manchester City has made English Premier League history by becoming the first side to clinch 4 consecutive titles after beating West Ham at the Etihad Stadium. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Oluwoporoku. I am John Omoaka. Thank you very much for listening.